Okay, so let's go back through and we're going to fix a couple things in some of these photos. First, let's start off with this front shot. We'll hop over here into the Develop module. We'll get rid of this tab right here because we don't need it. And we're going to come down to the Transform section and click on our Guided tool right here. Now, anytime you're correcting for perspective, and especially in your single point perspective shots, you want to make sure that you work with the longest horizontal and vertical lines that are the closest to the edge of your frame. So in this frame right here, the longest edge that we have at the top of the frame is the roof line right here. Sometimes it might help to hold down your space bar and zoom in. That's not going to really get us much here, but it helps out. So we'll click and drag to line this up right here, and then we'll come down to maybe this stonework right here at the top, and we'll click and drag right here as well. Now as we zoom back out, we're going to want to make sure that we correct our vertical lines as well. We'll grab a line right here and drag it to the bottom, and then come over to the side here and we'll drag a line on this rail right here. So now our perspective has been corrected and everything looks nice and symmetrical. All right, so using our Remove tool here, we're going to use the Remove and use Generative AI as well. We'll just go ahead and circle this sign and hit Remove. And that's going to help get rid of our sign right there while making sure that it doesn't mess up the stem of this tree as well. So that would be a finished shot that I would send off to the realtor there. All right, so let's try and clean up this corner shot. Again, we're going to switch over to the Remove tool. Using Generative AI, we'll go ahead and make the tool a little bit bigger here and try and highlight this ugly fence right here. I don't know how well this is going to work. Let's hit Remove and see what it does. All right, so that did a good job at getting rid of the ugly fence off to the side, but it's added some elements that weren't there in real life. So we want to be really careful when we work with tools like this that we don't misrepresent the properties. So I'm going to go ahead and toss that in the trash, and we'll revisit that later on. All right, so breaking this down into smaller pieces here, we're able to remove the fence. Let's make our tool a little bit bigger here to deal with some of this excess. And we'll hit Remove and we'll see what we get. I think this first option looks pretty good right here. It stops the stone wall exactly where it is, and we can deal with that. So this looks good. We'll go ahead and keep that, and we'll also get rid of the sign over here. All right, great. So that looks good. Let's move on inside to a couple of the inside shots, and we'll work on correcting their perspective here in this single point composition. So here's a great shot of the foyer right here. We'll come out of our Remove mask. We'll go back down to our Transform tab. You can see if we hit Auto, it doesn't really do a whole lot to change the perspective or fix it. We did a really good job at getting it right in camera, which is always the best attack. But we're just going to come in here at the top and drag our lines to make sure that everything is perfectly symmetrical. All right, that looks great. And as I move through the rest of the photos, I would use that same technique throughout on any of the single point perspective shots. I would focus on the extreme horizontal and vertical lines that are closest to the outer edges of the frame. Okay, so here we have a picture of the first secondary bedroom, and you can see we have our 3 exposures that we sent off to our editors, but we also have a flash shot right here with a cameraman in the frame. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of him and make sure that he's not in the final image. So we'll come back over here to our remove tool, and we will drag a circle around him. All right, and thanks to the wonderful technology that we have access to these days, he's gone. But we've ended up with some artifacts. We can fix that though. Okay, so now coming back over to our ambient shot. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go with this one here. We're going to clean it up a little bit before we bring it into Photoshop to blend these together. All right, so now that we've got this ambient shot kind of edited as good as we want to get it here, we don't want to push the exposure too much because we don't want to start blowing out the highlights over here on the left-hand side with the window. And we have enough detail here in our shadows that we can bring that out once we get our blend done. One of the things we want to make sure that we do here is grab our white balance tool and just grab a quick white balance right here off the ceiling. There are different areas you can grab around the room that might give you a good white balance. Sometimes if your walls are gray, you can get a good white balance off of there, but I tend to like this ceiling area here. That's where a lot of the color cast usually ends up getting mixed right there. So that helps give us a good white balance right there at the top. So we'll go over here to the flash frame as well. Got a good exposure here. You can see all of our shadow areas here are lit up really well. And we'll just go ahead and grab a white balance from the same area there as we did on our ambient level, on our ambient shot. And we will right click and edit in and open as layers in Photoshop. All right, so now that we have both of our shots here opened up into Photoshop, you can see that we have our ambient layer on the top, and then underneath that we have the flash layer. And with a simple 2 exposure shot like this, all we have to do is change our blend mode here on our ambient shot to luminosity. And we're going to dial the opacity back to about 70, somewhere between 50 and 70%. This is personal preference, and you may have to adjust this depending on how well that's working out with your shot. So the more opacity that we give it, the more ambient that we get, and the less opacity we give it, the more of the flash shot that we get. So you can see here, just moving this slider back and forth, you can kind of dial in just how much flash and ambient you want to mix in. 50% looks really good on this shot right here. You can see it's corrected all of our color cast issues. We have a nice good exposure down here in the darker shadow area here, and our windows here are not blown out to the point where you can't see any detail outside. So that's just a quick flash and ambient blend.